Hello, welcome back to Elephant. Last episode, we made a bit more progress as usual. We always make like tiny bits of progress at this point, and we looked at an interesting little puzzle. I think the last one, yeah, the last normal puzzle before whatever this thing is. Um, did I mark that? Yeah, that's the mem. That's not actually part of the cutscene at all. But this one was part of the cutscene, and it is apparently a level with a direction that we need to discover. So yes, this level, it's a big elephant. I hope you can see that it is one big elephant. Uh, uh, we need to be able to teleport all the way down here. So it looks like we need to align all of these with portal, with these seagulls. Like it's easy to do the middle two, but you kind of get stuck. There's no way to push down to hit the last one, and so there's gonna have to be something to do about that. I'm not sure if there's like gonna be. It looks like there's very little I can do here. Honestly, I would like to say that it looks like there's very little I can do here. I mean, I can definitely pull out one of you guys, so we get a bit more. Um, we get a little bit more stuff that we can do. So yeah, I guess. And in theory, I could actually do some really cool things with a lot of these guys. So for example, I can stretch. Yeah, sure. I can keep stretching if I can, because I have 4 of you. I can potentially stretch. Um, I can potentially stretch all the way up to a distance of 2 away. Although I don't really have any idea as to why this would be helpful for me. But yeah, I can do that. For whatever reason. Doesn't really look like I want that. The big problem is that I have no idea how I would get you guys past this. The couple ideas I have are either a double move or like removing one of these Alephs somehow, but that seems improbable. But like a double move, huh? A double move seems really interesting to me. Like I could, in theory, get a double move to occur. Well, where would a double move have to occur? The double move would have to occur sort of like here, right? Also, yeah, so it's like the problem is that a double move is 2 moves of the same direction. Whereas I do know that if I want to pull something, so for example I want to pull that, I would have to move in the opposite direction that the object is going to move in. And so what that means is that for it to move down, if you want to be pulled down, I have to point upwards. And I'm not sure if I can do that. What's the other thing I could do? I can't redirect its direction, so I can't like make it a different direction and then put it in and then make it back in the right direction, I guess. I feel like there's a very interesting thing going on here, but I can't see it. Yeah. I have 1 free portal to do things with. The rest are all stuck. This is actually the minimum number of portals that you need to cause this weird situation to not be able to occur. So yeah, I guess there's that. I can portal down there. But whenever I push something in, if it makes a portal, I don't suppose I can do anything with this, right? Not likely. I can't really do anything after that. I still need a double move. It definitely feels like a double move is necessary, but I don't see any vision as to how a double move would like work. Okay, you know what I could do though? No. I was thinking I could do like I could maybe, you know, if I got the portal to be vertical and split apart by 2, I could get like a long chain over here that I can somehow push to the right, but I don't think I can actually push that chain to the right because like it's gonna get stuck against this wall. Chain? This long, like, and a really extracted, a really stretched, a doubly stretched thing here. But no, nowhere in this column can actually push anything left or right besides here. So I'd say the answer to that is probably no. I wonder if I can somehow make a double move so that this is both diagonal and also like one like stretched. But like that doesn't seem feasible. Because I'll need to stretch this twice. And I don't think that's possible. Like yeah, I don't think it's possible to stretch it twice, no. Okay, I think we're like yeah, we're going to outlandish territory here. The question remains, how do I get a this Sagol past you without causing a connection? How do I double move? The problem is that if I want to move it, right? A step onto a puller is all I can do. I can't do anything afterwards because it just pulls. If I were to walk into a teleport from above to push it down, like, I could potentially teleport, you know, maybe all the way down here. But then I can't pull anything up afterwards, right? Okay, like I was thinking, perhaps I can maybe do something like this. Ah, stop it. Really interesting stuff going on here. I think I want to pull you. Ah, jeez. Okay. There's a lot of maneuvering that's to go on here, I think. Okay. What do I want? What do I want? I think I want something like this. But it doesn't work. Have I tried trying to like... Have I tried a pull that will like combine pieces together? I don't think I have. So like potentially this would... Yeah, I mean it's not going to. I would just do that. I'm thinking, okay, another thing I could try and do is a Shiver, right? A Shiver was also another thing I could try and do. But how do I get two opposing pieces to Shiver? Like, this push has to somehow get that push to also work. I mean, I could see something happening, like, if we get a horizontally stretched piece, horizontal, and then LF here, sorry, Nikud here, that there. I could see something like that happening, so, okay. Let's say I wanted to do that. I could see a stretch occurring, so I could see a Shiver happening if I maybe did something like... I need a second buffer. So what I could see happening is potentially... Okay, something like this. Is this bad? Whoa, did I not want you here? I think it's possible for me to save you if I did something like this. Okay. So if I can pull you down like so. I want to push you over like that. Okay. So I want this sort of move. So this actually allows me to move two things at once across the same. So that's a Shiver. And this will break it, right? Oh, this will break it. Okay. So that's another Shiver. This breaks. This breaks. And I think we might be done. Okay, gotcha. Oh, very nice. We just had to figure out that a Shiver was necessary. So this is the Shiver level. Interesting. Hey, I like that. Also, whoa. Oh no, I'm shivering. That's not good. Oh, no. I'm trying so hard to communicate with you guys. Elephant. Are we at the end? Oh, these are the credits. So we reached an ending. Game by Lislo, yeah. Lislo? I don't exactly know how to pronounce their name. I know they made a bunch of other games. I watched a few. Hey, Isley. Hey, didn't realize you were here. Yeah, they made really tough games, and like this is exactly one of the examples of the tough games they make. Like it's just really challenging. I think the more interesting thing, besides the fact that the puzzles are challenging, is that it's deceptively simple. The premise is deceptively simple. Hey, I reached an ending, which means we're almost done. Oh, is this? Whoa, we're not that done yet. We have more to go, huh? Okay. Should we go this way? Or is this like a super secret ending? This is the other communication level, isn't it? Because yeah, this is also communication. All the communication levels have like oxen pointing towards them. So I think that the communication level is actually hidden here. So this isn't a communication level? But Mem wasn't part of the... Yeah, it wasn't part of the cutscene. Interesting. Yeah, also, yeah, I guess I could have guessed that this wasn't a communication level because a communication level usually has a bunch more, like, edges on it. Okay. Well, I guess that means we're trying this one out. Apparently, for some reason, I missed this one. What is this? Yeah, that is not... Okay, what is this? That's interesting. That is not good, I don't think. I have a pull here, I have a teleport that I can teleport over. But that gets me stuck, so there's no reason to teleport there. Can pull this way. Ooh, okay, but like, now these can actually point up. Like, ideally, if I could get all of these to be aligned with each other. Huh. It's like a code I can write. Well, not really a code I can write. I mean, ideally I want something up here to be able to redirect all of you. But it's clearly not going to be possible. Okay. Suppose I did that. Oh, that's really interesting. This can happen. So what happens in this case? We get a Shiver, of course. Because they're pointing in the same space. That's another Shiver. It's a break and a Shiver. So we just have to dissect this entire thing, right? And figure out exactly what's going on. Looks like one pull from here can actually already activate this thing. There's no reason to pull right now though. In fact, this cuts us completely stuck. So we're not done yet with that area. So what about a second pull? What does a second pull do? It breaks. Which makes... Oh, I can do that. I guess another thing I could have also done was push you in, which would have allowed some pulls to occur. Okay. Alright, so... I need to use diagonals. I need to use the pulling mechanic to maneuver you guys. Okay, so I think this definitely breaks, because nothing can be redirected anymore. The first step has to definitely be redirecting these guys, but I already have two options in which... So I can either redirect this way, which I think would actually lead to a Shiver, right? That's actually really bad as well. Because again, I can't redirect you guys, so this is basically an eternal Shiver. Okay. That sort of limits my number of moves, actually, to just this one move to redirect first. That pull forces that. And so now I can redirect again. This move breaks. Yes. But there is no other move I can do, right? Am I not forced to do a break at this point? Yeah, I'm forced to do another pull, which is definitely a break. Okay. And then, I mean, that's a Shiver. But I can redirect. Although I wouldn't call this, you know, anything really useful. I don't want to do that. This move is... Okay, another Shiver here. I mean, sure, I guess. That move breaks that. But it looks like there's never anything I can do anymore. I can go back and pull you again, but... This causes a Shiver here. Yeah, so wherever I have this here, there's always gonna be two things pointing towards it. So whether it's in this position or this position... I guess in this position it's somewhat different, so... Like, ideally, or possibly... I can also do two pulls this way. And that would get this to point in the right direction. I mean, yeah, okay, that gets this not untangled. Okay, that's really interesting. So maybe I want to do some not untangling. Okay, I see. So... I want to untangle some knots. That's a Shiver, right. Okay, so if we work backwards, to get you to point up, I need to be standing here with you here. You probably can't point this way, because if you pointed this way, something needs to be connected here already, and that's not possible. I can potentially have something be here that's connected, but it looks unfeasible because there's a lot of things that could potentially point to it. I feel like it's these two. That one is connected diagonally here, and then this one gets pointed up. So when I pull and this breaks, this will remain pointing up. I could pull everything back. Oh, but then wouldn't you connect to that instead? Okay, interesting. There's a bit more nuance to this, I guess. Okay, so... I probably want to pull again. That straightens you out. If I pulled again and did this, then... Yeah, we get a Shiver. If I did it here... And then I pulled this way, we get a connection here. No, we get a Shiver. Right, that makes sense. Okay, hold on. Gonna get you there. Gonna do this. Gonna try and pull back here. And maybe activate this way so that you point up. So this is sort of like trying to make it so that we have only these two connected at the same time. So yeah, this is where we started off and it looked okay at this point, right? I wanna pull again. And I saw one... Oh, do I wanna repeat what I did? Like, assuming there were only 3 of you. So like, this one is already settled. Assuming there were only 3 of you, I wanna start from here. So from this point... I want to be able to, I think... pull back. So all 3 of you are connected now. But then we get a big problem, which is that the 3 that connect are the wrong 3. This breaks all of them at once. This should get 1 connected though, which should be good enough to help us out here. That 1 connection is kind of a bad connection, isn't it? I think it is. Because it's not connected to the right spot. It's like connected to 1 past its desired Aleph. Can pull that way. So I kind of get the opposite going on here. If I pull this way, it's a break. I don't know if I like that. I want to pull you over by 1. So once again, getting you to point in the right direction. This will break. But then this connects. I don't like that. I don't know if I can avoid that. So like, we're kind of reaching a parity issue, maybe? Okay, but why was it when they were knotted together? Why was that bad? Why was this bad? That was not that bad, right? Well, it's bad because if I pull one away, the other dies. Yeah. I don't know if I can fix that easily. So I can do this move, but then... Wait, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. We're not done yet. I wanted to be here to connect you over, but that looks really challenging. Okay, let's do this. I want to pull you over. Okay, so now I can do that. And I think by pulling you over, we should get 1 connection. Just kidding, these 2 connect. Okay, these 2... Right, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I don't really see what they're asking of us here. What's the main trick here? Or do I just have to like... knot this out? Like untie this knot? Like, it seems like the first thing to do is this, right? We kind of figured that out. The first thing is definitely that. That gets this knot. This doesn't lead to any connection. And actually, you can't actually escape from here, so like, it's almost like you have to make this connection. A pull here would break. But you keep 1, so that's fine, theoretically. That causes... a shiver, but it should be fine if I do this, because now you are pointing in the right direction. Meaning if I pull back, that happens, and you get 2 actual connections. Okay, so if I did that again, and I pull this way, I get a 3rd connection. But a 3rd connection is wrong. It should not be the 3rd connection. That's interesting. That does change the parity because it's now pointing that way. I get a shiver, don't I? Yeah, eternal shiver. But I can't really pull any further than this. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Maybe I didn't want that. Maybe I would have preferred it if this happened. Like, is there any reason why... I mean, yeah, if I activated you, then only 1 thing is pointing at the right location. This one. So you get that knot. And then this pull will break that, but then you get that. I don't know if that's good or not. But now you can't really do anything very well here. That breaks, but I guess theoretically this could happen. And then, you know, you could pull again. This is about as far as you can pull, but Don't both of these positions lead to weird shivers? That's a shiver. That's a shiver. That's a knot. Oh, that's the opposite of a knot. That's like the opposite of what I wanted, though. And then that's another shiver, right? Yeah. I don't quite understand what we're going for here. That undoes the shiver. But this... that doesn't actually redo the shiver. Okay, interesting. But, okay, yeah, the shiver will always occur if the redirect is in one of these two positions. Because then you have... well, you'll have one connection that works and then the other two connections would be the ones shivering. Although I realize that it's not the case if you have more than one connection. Which we did at one point have. We did at one point have up to 3 connections. Which means at that point we could have made some interesting moves. We could have made some interesting redirects. Without the potential for a shiver. It's like, yeah, I guess that's okay. What is this, by the way? If I did this pull, that's a shiver, see? Because it's these 3, or these 2 are disconnected. So this causes a shiver. How do you avoid that? And like the best I can do is this with you here. So like... okay, then the next possible move is that. That's really interesting because now like the connection is really far away. I don't know if the parity is right or not. The parity seems to be maybe slightly right. But then you kind of see that there's a connection here where a shiver... so like, then the next thing you'll get is a break plus a shiver. So that's bad. I don't want that. I'm just gonna reset here. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, the first move is definitely this. You have to pull this way. That causes a connection. And this connection is very tightly knotted together, as we know, because... I also realize you can't actually leave from here, which means that the rightmost position has to be where your connection is. What did we say that this would do? Right. That's a different thing. That's another knot. Pulling again gives us that again, so... in theory, that would be another knot. But not really, because this knot is pulled the wrong way. That's an eternal. Okay, so if I pulled you all the way here, and I did this, what happens if I pulled you now? Because this thing was broken, right? It was not actually connected to begin with. It is no longer pointing in a diagonal position. This pull, therefore, creates that, which is very interesting as well. That's a diagonal, and so actually, if I pull it this way... ooh, I think we're getting further though. But like, okay, that's somewhat interesting. Yeah, but because this is broken, this would not be pointing diagonally. Do I want that? Maybe. Maybe I kind of want it. Do I want that? That doesn't create anything at all, though. Yeah, it doesn't create anything at all. Is this still a parity issue? I feel like this is still a parity issue. But now you're here. The problem is that will create a paradox. Not paradox, a shiver. So like, won't this also create a shiver? I guess this will also create a shiver. So yeah, a shiver. And you actually break a shiver because if you try and move the LFs, it doesn't matter. One LF will be pointed by both things. It's either 1 or 0, and it doesn't matter which. So we kind of like reached the end of that trail over there. I don't know what else I can do. Yeah, I kind of felt like the knot between the middle two was interesting. That sort of acted as somewhat of a middle point of the process, but it's clearly not possible to do it in the other direction because this isn't a symmetrical board. So like, but let's see. This move is interesting. This move doesn't do anything, I think. Oh, that move does that. Oh, wait, hold on. That connection is good. That is a connection in the right spot. And so, if I connect you here to point you diagonally, this pole should make 2 right connections. And then, okay. Then the next step is to, I think, just do everything reverse. Right? So, yes, okay. No. Something's wrong here. If I pull you over by 2, the good thing is that I can get you to point diagonally. Hence, by pulling over by 2, that connection works. But I can't do this a 3rd time. The reason is because this can never be diagonally to this. That would cause a lot of breaks. Yeah, and I can't really enter and leave pointing in the right direction. So we got closer, but like not that close, you know. Okay. I think we're making progress though. Like this is definitely a good move, I think. That got you to point up there. Okay, that's interesting, but like that feels wrong, but you know what we'll do with it? Maybe the next one is to try and fix this guy. The thing is that with you connected, you're never right. Because I can never get this thing to redirect to the right direction. Is that not true? So would my goal have been to redirect it so that both the outsides get correct first, and then work from there? Oh crap, but I can't redo. Uh-oh. Yeah, I know this middle spot is good. I forget what happens next. I wanted this, yeah, and then I wanted, right, and then I wanted this. That was, oh, right. No, hold on. It was supposed to be. Was it this move? Yeah, it was this move. But see, that move is also kind of bad. That move makes a connection I don't like. But okay, if this is the end point and the end point is kind of a blockage, what if I started by trying to go here? That wouldn't have worked because that would have required this point to be connected. So like, okay. Let's say my new goal is to get you to be right. The goal is to only have this be active. But wouldn't that cause a problem? This being active, like the only reason why there is no like problem with shivering is because both of these are active. So it's basically impossible for any shiver to occur, even when a breakage occurs. But because we can only leave from here, this guy has to be the guy that everything points to, which is good for you, but not good for you. However, if this was inactive, and okay, then I want these guys to be unknotted, and this to be here, and this to be here. Correct? Seems right, because that feels like the only way to make it so that this guy is connected to something but isn't blocking the way from whatever this is connected to. Which will mean that with you and you connected, and this guy connected here, this will be the only way to keep you pointing up diagonally like so. So I think that's what I want to go for. Okay, so that happens. If I did this, I can point diagonally. Ah, but then we have a thing here. So like then we get, you know, nice little paradox. Nice little shiver. I call it a paradox now. Probably shouldn't be calling it a paradox, but yeah, see. So how would that be broken? By the fact that this was also connected? There was a point where these two were connected and also not knotted up. I don't know how I accomplished that, but that came before this, right? I'll just restart. Yeah, probably find some way to get through that properly. Okay. So this causes a knot. However, I could properly undo the knot. By doing this. Okay, that undoes the knot. Okay, and so with these two here, I can get this to now connect over. And then hold on. By pulling this way, I got break, and then we get a shiver. Alright, that's a shiver. Ooh, that is a shiver. Right. How did that get broken up then? It was like this. And then this happened. And then when I did this kind of pull, you get all three of those. But I don't want all three of those. I specifically want the middle two to be the middle two, but not knotted. I feel like I did that at one point, didn't I? I feel like I definitely did that at one point. Hold on, I did that at one point, but I've lost it. Okay, let's reset then. We can do it again. Hold on. So there you go. And then one more pull. Followed by this. Wait, no. Crap, what do I want? Wait, how do I get the, crap. That's wrong, but also, okay, kind of useful. Because no. This is kind of good. This move. I saw this move as being somewhat useful. Because this can happen and you get pointed on your own. Pull, that's a break, but that connects correctly. I don't remember ever having been in that situation. That's not how I got there. Okay, was it more after this? I think it was this and then something. So I want this. Then I want this, that pulls. And then something has to happen here. It was this pull, and then this points in this direction, so I pull again. This gets connected here. I don't remember this being part of the thing either, but sure. Whatever. This happens. That gets that connection. That gets that to happen. Sure, I think that's fine. So this gets this, but that's a paradox. That's not right either. And that's just like a repeatable process, which I don't like. I don't like the fact that it's a repeatable process. So how did I get them to? What? Wait, I distinctly remember that happening, didn't I? I distinctly remember it happening. But maybe I was wrong. Oh, that's how it happens. Okay. Did I manage to get you guys to be unknotted? I think this was a bad-ish move, but technically not the worst. Because I could still break you. I could still break this thing. No. That's interesting. But I don't suppose it's interesting enough. That's the opposite of what I want. I feel like this is the opposite of what I want, right? These two are knotted, but they're not even pointing at the correct things. Okay. I could probably figure this out. Hold on. So I want this to be connected this way. If I try pulling now, things get very messy. It's the exact same process, but like we have now somehow gotten even worse. Yeah, this is like the opposite of what I want. Parity is always wrong. The parity is never right, which is odd to me, because parity should be right at one point. I thought I got the parity right, but I don't think I guess I never did. That's a shiver, yeah, that makes sense. I don't want them to shiver at all. That's technically the right parity. Look, the problem is I don't actually know if I want a parity to be involved in the first place. This is also really bad, by the way, because like at this point, yeah, we've already forced a shiver. I don't want you to be there. I don't think it can be slightly off either. That wouldn't work. That's also... yeah, okay. I'm not very comfortable with this idea. I think I have to, like... I don't think I can do this right now. I think I'm gonna leave it. And then we'll move on next episode. So yeah, I think we'll see what else we can do next episode, but I definitely want to get like into like the idea of exactly what I'm supposed to be interpreting from this. This definitely feels like some sort of lock that I need to like pick, but I don't know what the keys are and like, you know, how high the bumps are and like what goes where and everything. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna do this next episode. So yeah, until then, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Bye bye.